The 5th annual Extra Life Video Game Marathon is coming up on October 20th, 2012. Now it's time for gamers to make a difference. Extra Life is just like a run or a walk or a bike event, except you never have to leave the comfort of your own living room. Just sign up online at extra-life.org to register. On October 20th at 8 a.m., you play any games you want for 24 hours. Find out more and sign up to play online at extra-life.org. Play games, heal kids. Extra Life.
So listen to this. I've been trying to clean up this computer room, which is not going to be a computer room for much longer. So she gave me the ultimatum to get everything out of here by the end of October, for the nursery. Like, everything got to go, except for this computer desk. So I had like 6 big CRT, like 17-inch CRT monitors up here. And, along with some towers and stuff like that. So all the CRT monitors I put outside for the garbage because I figured, normally the pickers come by and they take what's first and then whatever's left, the garbage men get, right? And nobody took them by the morning. And then there's this one guy that runs around town, right? Like, one time my dad and I were coming out from breakfast and we saw this dude with like a golf bag full of crutches. Like, I guess he was taking all these crutches to recycle them and stuff, right? And apparently he was outside eyeing up these monitors, right? And he's looking around, and my wife comes outside and she sees him and she's like, oh shit, I'm going to try to take a picture of him. And she pulls her phone out. And he sees the phone, like, I don't know if it's like the glare off the lens or whatever, and he just, like, scurries like a rat, man. He just took off. and he never took any monitors, I guess. So the garbage men took them all. But the funniest part is this same dude about 6 or 8 months ago, my dad, now that he's retired, he's steady outside, like, sweeping the curbs and stuff, and doing all kind of crap outside, just tinkering. And he bought this brand new push broom, big wide push broom. And he's outside sweeping. He walks over, he leans it on the telephone pole and walks back into the garage and runs upstairs to get something. He comes back out, he's scratching his head. He was telling me all this. And he's looking around, he's like, where the hell did my broom go? Where'd I put this broom? So he's looking. And out of the corner of his eye, he sees down the street, here's this guy, Marshall. He's walking down the street with it slung over his shoulder like a chimney sweep. Right? So my dad, like a crazy nut, hops in his car and he drives down the street. He says, hey, Marshall, yeah, he kind of talks like this a little bit. And he says, my dad says, that's my broom. He said, yeah, I thought you was throwing it away. He said, throwing it away? It's brand new. And he said, I know, I was going to try to get like $20 out of it.
Draw your sword, knock your arrows, and ready your spellbook. It's time for another episode of The Gamesmen. What role will you play?
Guys, gals, and guildies, welcome to episode 89 of The Gamesmen. This is the show for the week of October the 15th, 2012. I am Steve Conger, also known as JSS Lifelike, on basically every gaming service imaginable, and I've had a little bit of bad luck lately. Yeah, having a little knee problem. I don't know, if anybody knows about medical ailments, it's probably Daniel Knappman, Hardly Dan.
Hey man, how you doing?
No kick in the balls lately or anything?
No, but I was waiting for a crappy arrow to the knee meme.
You know what? It's almost like that's what it is. Like, I just come back from the doctor a little bit ago, and they don't know. They don't think it's a tear or anything, but it's like the patellar tendon or something. And the x-ray seems like it's okay, but holy crap, does it hurt to even bend this thing.
I know what knee troubles. I've got a bit of my kneecap in a jar somewhere, so I know what knee problems can be like.
Blasted off by a frag grenade.
Yeah. No, I broke it cleaning out a pond, but never mind.
That sounds way less glamorous.
Yeah.
So, Dan, we have a couple of special guests. We were going to do another Extra Life interview, and then, I sat there and I thought, why don't we just get these guys to join us for the whole show?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, it's a couple of other VGHub Extra Life team members. One, Mr. Bobby Gooding, Iron Hammers.
Hello.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm not too bad at all. I don't have any shrapnel in my knee or anything like that, so nothing to complain about, man.
That's always a blessing.
It certainly is.
And I don't know if this is your first time on a show. I don't know if you've called into any of the other shows, maybe on VGHub or something like that. The Real Defoe, Mr. Gary DeFelice.
Hey, how you guys doing?
What's new?
Yeah, I've been on the OC podcast and our Lousy at Gaming. We've had a couple of podcasts, but
yeah,
we're pretty good. We're pretty bad at keeping those up to date.
No, wait a minute. When were you on the OC? How long's that been now?
I think I've been on maybe once or twice.
Was it?
A couple of years, about a year ago or so.
Everything's blending together for me.
They've done like 6,000, so good luck trying to find it.
Yeah.
I give them credit. I don't know how they do it every week.
Yeah, I don't know. They better people than well, I don't want to speak for Dan, but
no, please do.
Yeah, better folks than us. How about that?
Certainly better than me lately, if you look at the regularity of Iron Hammers.
Well, you're more than happy to repost this over there if you want to. So Gary, how about you? What's going on with Gary, and what's going on with Lousy at Gaming over there, and what about playing anything special or what?
Yeah, so I mean, basically, here life just it's been a little shitty lately. We just had to get our cesspools taken care of here today. Yeah. So I'm about $3,500 poorer than I was yesterday.
Oh my God.
So that sucks, but it's life,
Isn't that like what they had in medieval times?
That's what all the city people that I work with say. They're like, you guys still have cesspools out there on Long Island? So
sometimes, yeah.
Hell yeah. So I got 2 gigantic holes in the front lawn and big gigantic, I guess, casings that all the shit will go to now.
Well, I mean, that's probably better than, I can't even imagine. Like, when you say that, I think about, like, oil on the top, and I think of, like, just firing a flaming arrow and setting it on fire like a moat, I don't know why. That popped in my head. I don't know.
It might be fun to do once.
Yeah, maybe that's probably all it would take. You'd have no house, nothing left. Oh, my God.
So that's about it there. Lousy at Gaming, we're actually, nobody really knows, but we're actually redoing the site. So,
cool.
Hopefully we'll have a new lookout. Probably early November.
Nice.
Been kind of running through that. And
who's heading that up?
Unfortunately for everybody, it's me. So doing a little Joomla and playing around, and we got a few people on there. We're doing test posts and stuff like that. So We'll probably get it up and running we want to try to get it up actually before we'd have a lot of Xbox players. So we want to try to get it up before Halo and Call of Duty Black Ops 2 come out.
I guess that's a pretty good call. Yeah.
See if a new site, maybe we'll get a few more members out of that.
Cool. Excellent.
So we got that going on. And then, when I'm not doing shitty stuff around the house or coaching with the kids, basically games, I've been playing a lot of Madden on the Xbox and some Tiger Woods, and been doing Torchlight 2. Been finally trying to pick that up over here on the PC.
Yes.
Wonderful game.
I need to go back to it. I just haven't. Everybody probably knows over the last few shows, the only thing that I've been playing, I'm head over heels. But Torchlight, how long have you put into it?
I'd probably say about 2 to 3 hours because I don't get a lot of time.
Yeah.
But every time I sit down and play, it's usually I'll play for 10 minutes and it ends up being an hour. Mm-hmm. So maybe I got more than 3 hours, maybe by 4 or 5. But
it's good for that.
It is. Yeah. It's a great time warp, time killer, and every time I play, I'm amazed. It's really, it's cool. There's so many little different pieces they put in this time, and I'm burning houses down, and I'm like, that's cool.
It's a lot more in depth than I thought it was going to be. I mean, of course, I guess when you look at as simplified and streamlined as the character progression was in Diablo 3, it's a big difference. It is sort of a throwback to a few generations of dungeon crawlers ago.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Definitely. Anything else? You got anything else going on, or what?
That's pretty much it. I finally got The Walking Dead to work on my Steam account. I bought it with one of those sales I had over the summer.
Yes.
And I kept putting off playing it, and I finally...
Oh, you were a terrible person.
Finally started it today.
Good.
Because it kept crashing, but I got the first scene in or something like that. And
you know what? As a matter of fact,
really cool.
Yeah, Dan's a terrible person too. actually.
Why am I
I'm just
terrible?
going to sit here quietly.
Because you have it authorized on your Steam account, and you can't pull yourself away from Guild Wars.
Yeah, I know.
I actually, her and I, Lisa and I went and, we started episode 3, and I think we're about halfway through. And, she's starting to feel a little bit better now. So I assume that we're going to get finished and out of the way. But I really want to get started on 4. And let me just say, while we're on the subject of The Walking Dead, man, I finished, I think, what was it? Book 4, the hardback books that I had talked about a few episodes ago. And I want to say that it's probably episode 48, and it's pretty much the culmination of the whole prison thing that is about to happen in the new season. Holy shit, I was floored.
Really?
The end of issue 48 completely floored me. I could not believe it. And now I was starting to get a little bit bored with it, and now I'm right back in. Completely hooked me again.
Well, we got the TV series this weekend, so...
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see how they're going to do some of the stuff, because not all the characters are alive in the comics, and vice versa. I don't know how they're going to do some stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I'll just kind of let that go, because if I start talking about it, then I'm going to start saying stuff, and we all know how that is. So I mean, at the risk of having it sound like a euphemism, is there anything else in your slot lately? Or, I mean, have you, how long did you spend with The Walking Dead?
I probably played for about 10, 15 minutes before my kids came in the house. So it's basically that very first scene. I got through there, and I think everybody knows there's a little girl in there. So I've met the little girl.
Okay.
But I love, you make the decision, it pops up, it says she's going to remember that. And I'm like, oh man, now I feel the pressure of making better decisions. And
yeah,
that little time, the little shrinking, like a load bar, knowing I only have a couple more
like
seconds to make a decision.
Meter. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
a little
cool.
stopwatch bar. It is, I think, and I'll be anxious to hear what you say, but I think that the sort of decision making and the dialogue options, to me, I think we're a little more effective than Mass Effect.
Really?
I think, as you progress, they seem to be a lot more simplified, but everything feels like it matters in The Walking Dead as opposed to like Mass Effect, where, okay, it matters for a while until you get to this point.
Right. You make a decision in Mass Effect and it might just make the guy mad at you for a little while, but ultimately you're still going to have another battle with somebody else or something, right? Yeah,
you come to a place that is sort of like a crane machine, and it picks your train up and sets it on a completely new track, the track that it's supposed to be on, and then it goes. Yeah. It doesn't seem like it's going to be that way in The Walking Dead, but I guess we shall see.
I can't wait to get it going.
Yeah, I think you'll really like it. It's great. For me, a lot of people told me last week that they want to know why I didn't talk about Resident Evil 6, and I kind of didn't want to rail on it along with everybody else because it was just such an easy target, I guess. Did any of you guys play the demo, or no?
No.
Nope.
Oh, God, you were all better people than I, as far as at least you don't have about an hour you'll never get back of your life.
It's a series I've just never played and never got into, to be honest.
Yeah, same here.
I loved it. Like, I was all into it. I'm like, oh, that damn Wesker, how many strains of the virus does he have now? And you know what I mean? Like, I was all into the lore and all kind of shit, right?
That's you all over there, man.
I know. I know. So I fired this up and I'm excited about it because I figured I've heard that the different campaigns have different feels to them, right? And for me, all I really wanted out of Resident Evil ever was survival horror. Like, to me, Resident Evil 2 is sort of the pinnacle of the Resident Evil series because 4 was great, but 2 was really like environmental, static camera views, all that kind of stuff, It was really, really when I think survival horror was at its peak. And this kind of feels like that. It kind of feels like that a little bit when you play Leon S. Kennedy's campaign. And it feels good. It looks kind of cool. It's reminding me of Resident Evil 4 and 2. And then the mechanics start to get in the way. And by that, I mean, I don't care how many zombie pieces of media material that you watch. It does not take 5 bullets, headshots, to take down a zombie, right? Because there's actually deformation in the modeling. Like, you'll shoot a zombie in the head and half of the cranium will fly off.
Yeah, I was talking to a buddy of mine some of you might remember him, Jason. He used to do my podcast with me.
Yeah. Yep.
And he was saying he was playing it, and he was saying pretty much the same thing, like how he was like shooting some zombie in the knee or something, and it took like about 7 shots before it fell over, even though its like leg was gone pretty much.
Yeah, it is. It's odd. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm kind of conditioned to like Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, The Walking Dead and all this stuff. When a bullet takes off a side of a cranium, that zombie's basically rendered useless, correct?
Should.
Basically. So I can kind of get behind 2 headshots. Okay, 2 headshots to make it pop. Perfect. That's not the case either. I mean, then the melee stuff where I think the first melee kick will be just like a side kick. And then if you do a melee kick or a combo, like another kick right after that, it turns into a roundhouse, which the roundhouse is then what makes the head pop as far as melee attacks go. If it connects, that's the problem. The first one always connects. The second one, you got about probably maybe a 25 to 30% chance that it connects.
And so you're also saying that when it does connect, the roundhouse kick is more effective than 5 rounds from a gun.
Yeah, exactly. Now you tell me in what algebraic universe that problem even makes sense.
Resident Evil universe?
Yes, I guess. I mean, it's weird. And then again, if you shoot, like you were saying, like you cap a zombie at the knees, and he falls over and him or her starts to crawl at you, that same contextual melee button is supposed to stomp on the head. I think I got it to work once out of 10 times. I'm sitting there doing the melee move, and the melee move, he goes to stomp, and the zombie's still moving. I can't pop the head, and then I'm stuck in the animation, and it leaves me open to get hit.
Yeah, that's pretty bad, man.
Oh, it's like survival horrible. It's terrible.
I'm glad you played it for me.
Oh, I didn't even try the Chris campaign or old whatever his head, old Wesker Prodigy. I didn't even try his campaign either because at that point I was just done. I might play this game. I might buy it for $20 or something, maybe, if I have somebody else to sort of share the pain with me the whole way.
Looks like a good game for the next Steam summer sale when it's $5.
I agree with that. I mean, it's the sad thing is, how often do these Resident Evil games come along? I mean, it's a pretty long time in between.
Yeah.
And I think if you were to go onto either PSN or buy them on the Wii, the Resident Evil Umbrella Chronicles and Dark Side Chronicles shooters, like the light gun shooters, are infinitely more fun than Resident Evil 6, at least as far as the demo goes.
Damn.
Terrible. Yeah. It's a shame. Man, it's sad. I mean, to see a franchise, I think after Shinji Mikami left, it's just went downhill. I mean, I thought, and I know I'm probably one of the few, that Shadows of the Damned was a fucking great game. It never really got the attention I think that it deserved, but man, I don't know. It's sad. It is really, really sad. But I guess I'm going to take a page out of Dan's book here. The last story update for this week on the Wii is I finished the final boss, and there are still like 2.5 chapters of epilogue or something afterward. And the last boss battle was great. Great. I loved it. The music is fantastic. And I went in at level 57, and I got my shit handed to me. No kidding. So I go back out, I reload the save at the save point, and I went back. The way that you can grind in the last story is not like random encounters or anything. You'll walk down to sort of like, it's almost like a pentagram type design on the ground, and if you go there and you activate your ability, it will summon monsters, and you can keep summoning and summoning and summoning, and that's the way that you grind. I ground myself all the way up to level 70 from 57. And I went in and I completely wasted the final boss, which was kind of a pretty nice little twist as far as the story, if you're into the story. So, kind of neat, and I am almost finished with that, so I guess it'll probably be time to get back into Guild Wars just in time for the big marathon this weekend. Yeah. And speaking of the marathon, why don't we interview these two guys here? right, so as promised, we wanted to try to get a few more members of the VGHub Extra Life team on so you can get to know them and possibly donate to them and help us sort of do a solid for these sick kids. So let's see. How about Gary first? Just who is Gary DeFelice and what does an average day in your life consist of?
Well, my average day is pretty boring, but I live out here on Long Island, suburb of New York City. Actually, used to work in Manhattan, but my normal day probably would be wake up, run, depending on how late I stayed up the night before playing games, go to work, go to the soccer field or a football field or a baseball field with one of my 3 kids, come home, get them dressed, showered, homework, bath, whatever, and then maybe play for an hour at the end of the night and fall asleep.
Oh, man, that is a packed day. And cesspools and everything else, man.
And
Jeez.
cesspools, yeah.
What about Bobby Gooding?
Who is Bobby Gooding?
Yeah.
Good question, man. Good question. A lot of you probably know who I am already, to be honest, who are listening. But I am Bobby Gooding, also known throughout the online realm as Iron Hammers. And Iron Hammers pretty much takes up a lot of my time, or has done up until recently. I've been working on a couple of other projects. But mainly, I write about games. And I have a daughter, so she takes up quite a lot of my time, except for recently, where she's buggered off to Barbados with my other half for her sister's wedding.
How did that happen anyway? Like, how did you get stuck at home?
Well, one thing, it wasn't my sort of thing, to be honest. And the other thing was just money. Like, I didn't feel like it was justified spending all that money to go that far. Yeah. And I mean, I'm not exactly the sunbathing type, as you might kind of
neither am I.
assume. Do you know what I mean? So, like, 2 weeks sitting on a beach in Barbados is like my idea of torture, basically. So,
I know, I'm right there with you, man. But you know what? I sit there and think about it. It sounds so. Oh yeah, they're off in Barbados, and I'm sitting here, and it's raining, and it's cold, and I'm like Dan, and I need to put gloves on and shit like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, and it's also like I get to sleep until 4 p.m. and nobody wakes me up.
You realize that's ridiculous.
I think the main reason
totally ridiculous. I think that's the point. Like, I'm just taking it to the max. It's like she's gone, everybody. She's gone. Come on.
Now, surely, Bobby, the main reason is you just don't want to shave your beard off to get on a plane, right?
Well, that is also.
I could see it too. You sort of leave your hair wet and you got a towel wrapped around your head and you're just like, I'm late for my plane.
It could cause problems.
Yeah.
I've been mistaken in the past.
So, Gary, there are a load of hospitals in the States that are actually part of the Children's Miracle Network. Which one are you playing for?
Yeah, there's actually quite a lot. I was surprised how many. There's one over here. It's the North Shore Long Island Jewish Center. The Stephen and Alexandra Cohen Children's Medical Center over in New Hyde Park.
Man, that is a mouthful.
Yes.
They probably just need the money to keep the sign clean.
When I'm at work trying to get money, I just tell people it's for one of the North Shore hospitals.
That's cool, man. And what about you, Bobby? I know there's about 3 over here, aren't there?
Well, that's what I was about to say. There's not many to choose from over here. So, Bristol Royal Hospital for Children, which I think is the same one that you're doing it for, Dan.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a bit of a shame because there is other hospitals more locally where, like, I've had family who have been there before and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So it'd be nice to be able to support a local one, and it's also nicer to be able to get donations from people locally because they're more keen because it's a local thing. But yeah, Bristol Royal Hospital for Children is the closest one to me, and my brother lives down that way as well. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, cool.
Well, so Gary, you said something about running before. So what other kind of activities or hobbies do you enjoy?
Yeah, so running is my release from this house in the morning if I can. We actually used to run in races from time to time when we had less children or younger children, but that's kind of stopped because usually we have sporting events. So running is certainly one of them. I love fantasy football and regular football. Just one of my favorite things to watch. And that's American football, my friends.
Yeah.
If I can golf, I'll golf. But that's pretty much dwindled down now with the kids. I probably can only get out about 3-4 times a year. And I do coach. I coach 2 of my boys, one of them in basketball, the other one in soccer. And I coach my daughter in soccer and basketball as well. So
sweet.
Yeah.
Man, holy crap. Okay, now, Bobby, what is a Bobby hobby? And like, I think the only other thing that I know besides you and Iron Hammers and all this stuff is like cigarettes. So
cigarettes, heavy metal, guitar, and I'm going to be the complete nerd opposite of what Gary just said. And can I count esports? Does that count as something different to video games?
Maybe, yeah.
I mean, I watch more StarCraft than I do anything else. Pretty much, I'll probably sleep less than I watch StarCraft. So it's got to count in there.
How are esports picking up over there more than they are over here? Or?
I don't know. It's massive over there now, man.
It is getting there, I guess. Huh?
I mean, I
don't know.
League of Legends have just had their $2 million tournament. Valve hosted the International, which was $1 million tournament, and then you've got MLGs getting bigger and bigger every year, and the NASL is over there, the North American Star League. Then you've got the IPL, which is hosted by IGN. Like, seems like at the moment there's a real big boom, and everyone seems to be trying to get in on the action, which is offering so much content. It's just ridiculous. But here in the UK, the scene is like fairly non-existent. There's not so much of it.
Really?
But over in Europe, sort of Germany, Sweden, those countries, it's really, really big.
I guess I always think about how much more willing people are in the UK and in Europe to participate in stuff, I mean, and I guess this is more, getting down to the nitty gritty and actually playing, which Americans are perfectly fine with doing. They have no problem with it.
Okay. Well, yeah, it sounds like you're incredibly busy, Gary. How do you with the training and running and everything else? Geez, that's a huge amount of stuff. How do you actually shoehorn gaming into your life?
It really has become the times I game is usually after 9 in the weeknights, and weekends I usually wake up, nobody fall off the chair at like 5-6 a.m. because I'm used to it.
Yeah, you kind of get set, don't you?
And I actually will play a quick game or two before the kids get up. And actually, you know what? I've brought the PC back into a larger part of my gaming. I started to play more on the Xbox recently because I do like the TV and I play a lot of the sport games. But with I got a 9 and 10-year-old boy now, then they're on both Xboxes almost all the time. So I've been playing more on the PC lately, which is cool because that's where I really that's my gaming home. So I feel much better here.
Yeah,
can you join my petition to get more sports games on the PC though?
Yeah, they just abandoned it. It was horrible. I got a good friend at work. He runs another website, a gaming site. It's all PC, and they, big Tiger Woods fan, and there's no support.
Nothing at all. Unless you have a crazy Tiger Woods online game that you can listen to me and Dan hate on that.
Yeah. Well, how do you manage to fit gaming in then, Bobby?
Well, obviously with Iron Hammers, a lot of my time was gaming anyway, so it wasn't really so much a problem to fit in. Obviously having a daughter and stuff is a bit more tricky, although I'm trying to get her to watch StarCraft.
But you know what, though? Like, I will say that I could have spent 3 or 4 hours playing the last story instead of writing why Nintendo should acquire Platinum Games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just something like that.
Yeah, I understand.
So, I mean, when you are writing stuff, I mean, I believe me, I understand that it takes up, and especially if you're not in a creative frame of mind, I mean, it can be.
These psychedelics will sort that out, man.
Yeah, I guess so. It'd be all right if you could turn the psychedelics on and off at will. I mean,
pretty cool.
Yeah, the problem is you can't.
Well, someone needs to get on that.
So, Bobby, how about your first exposure to video games? What was that?
It was playing. The first time I can ever really remember playing video games was at my nan's. She had like a old Spectrum or something like that with the cassette tapes in it, I never remember which model it was because I was so young at the time. We used to play like games called like Roland on the Ropes, and there was a whole series of Roland games. Some of you might remember them, like Dizzy and things like that on there. That was the first I can remember playing it. But the first thing I actually had myself was an Atari 2600.
Yeah.
And I had like games like Cubit and stuff like that, and I just used to play it so much. It was unbelievable.
I was so jealous of you people because my first, not exposure, but my first gaming system that I had was a 5200. And I loved it, but God, I wanted to be playing 2600 like you wouldn't believe.
Were they not about over there then, or?
No, they were. I just never had one. Like, I wanted one, and my folks were like, "What's that?" And I ended up with a 5200 and a trackball and all that kind of stuff, man. Like, I kind of had it all. Missile Command. We were playing Congo Bongo. Man, we were doing it. It was great. But
sounds like you still play that.
I know. Yeah, there's proof of that now. So, Bobby, just real quick, just a quick fire. So over your gaming sort of career, I guess you could call it, what one game made the greatest impact on you?
That's obviously always a tough one, and all generations have got their classics. But
yeah,
in recent times, I would say StarCraft 2, like the whole esports thing, and it's like opened up my eyes to a completely whole new world of gaming and a whole new way of gaming that I'd never really imagined before. But to be simple and just say a game of all time that's made the greatest impact, I would have to say Ocarina of Time. And it was just that perfect alignment. It came out at the right time. It was like many people would say it was the perfect game as well. And I don't know what it was about it, just something about it. It's just made me... I'll never forget the moments I spent trying to catch the biggest fish on Ocarina of Time and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
or to tear the guy's hat off with your fishing rod.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. Well, like I sit there and think that to me sort of signified when we knew we arrived. Like now this is what games can be, and from here they can only get better.
Yeah, I think that is true. Like it was like a culmination of like loads of things that Nintendo had done in the past, and it was like they kind of they got that perfect recipe, if you know what I mean. And it was like it just did something like emotionally that games had never done to me before. Like it was always about getting the higher score, getting the or like killing my brother more times than he killed me or something like that. You know? Mm-hmm. But with that, it just portrayed something more emotional. Like the story of it was just it was like the first time, and like I say, the timing of it, like I was at an age where I could really understand it more, and I could really get into it. And it's just a game, obviously, that I'll never really forget about.
Yeah, and Majora's Mask was better anyway. But
so you keep trying to tell me, man, but that just wasn't happening for me.
Anyway, Gary, so what was your first exposure to games, and what one game made the greatest impact on you?
Yeah, so I'm actually old enough that Pong was probably, believe it or not, the first exposure where my mom was dating a fella who ended up being my stepfather. He had Pong. So we had that, but, that really wasn't a full game system. And the first system we bought after that, while everybody had the Ataris, we bought Intellivision.
Yeah.
So I played a lot of Intellivision. My parents were divorced. My father had an Intellivision. We had one. So we'd play at home. I can remember playing the soccer and the hockey, the horse racing and all that crap. And we'd go back to his house and we'd play with him, and we'd all gamble on the horse races at night. It was hysterical. So it was pretty cool.
Obviously, he's a worthy stepfather candidate if he had Pong. I mean, come on.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. Actually, he's gone. She's up to number 3 now, so she's really not good at this, my mom.
My God, what games do they have?
Yeah, I was going to say, hopefully this one isn't still playing Pong.
No, we bought him a PS3. So, so pretty much, I guess Intellivision really would have been my first really full-blown system. And then, strangely enough, the game that had the greatest impact probably would be Unreal Tournament.
That was a big one.
That single game that rebonded my family. So I think it was Christmas, probably 99 time frame.
Yeah.
We were at my dad's house. My stepbrother had bought the game. They lived in a ranch. My stepbrother lived downstairs. He's showing us this game. We're amazed. My father got it, and we started playing against each other. And we're like, "How are you doing this online? Playing against each other?" I actually got like the first cable modem ever on Long Island, and then we all started playing at night for hours and hours and hours. And it actually me, my stepfather, my brother, and my father. It brought us all back together, and we played for hours every night. And I didn't have kids back then. So,
well, 2 points.
It was amazing.
2 points there. Number 1, nothing says family bonding like a flak cannon to the face, right?
No doubt.
Okay. And number 2, if you had the only cable modem on Long Island and you were using it to play fucking Unreal when there were people that could have been doing book reports and all kind of other shit.
I remember they had DSL at their house, and I had a cable. And we were actually talking about servers back then, and we're like, you could get a full T1 of bandwidth. And we're like, wow, that's insane.
I remember that when it was like, T1, T1. Everybody wanted the T1.
Oh, God. Hysterical. So, strangely enough, and my father actually still games, although he's kind of not playing as much, but he's in his 70s. He lives in Florida, and we'll jump online, and he likes the shooters. So usually he's playing Modern Warfare and stuff.
Got to keep them joints limber, man.
Yeah, it's cool, right?
Yeah.
My dad cleans his aquarium on Facebook.
I remember a while back playing Burnout Revenge with a guy in his 80s, and that guy was awesome. There's some brilliant old gamers out there. I hope to be one myself one day.
What do you mean one day, Dan?
Zing!
And the second youngest in the room. So Gary, it's your first time this year, isn't it, for Extra Life?
Yeah. I've seen you guys doing these over the years, and sadly, I don't think I ever gave if any money. And this year, I said, I gotta jump in on this. So I jumped on, and I've actually gotten quite a few donations already, and it's been a pretty steady flow of a lot of people. I think I'm up to about 17 people that have given donations so
Sweet.
far. So
That's fantastic.
I still have some more people at work to hit up. I actually, funny enough, somebody I work with is handing out flyers at the New York Comic Con.
Oh, sweet.
This weekend. It'd be really cool if I got a random donation. I don't know if that'll happen, but you never know.
I'd totally be there right now. If I wasn't having a kid.
Yeah.
I was so close this year, but we got a lot of crap going on as usual.
Dude, it was so much fun last year. It was, I think, one of the times the most fun that I think I've ever had. Was at Comic-Con. And for more than just the obvious reason of bare naked breasts right outside of the front door. I mean, they weren't great ones, but they were there.
Sorry.
Gotta love this city.
It is great. I don't know how she got away with it, but I don't know, whatever.
Bobby, you've done it a few times now, haven't you? Is this your third or fourth
This is
go?
my third.
Third, yeah. You got any experiences that have been a bit kind of dodgy with it? Have you found it easy? How's it been for you over the past few times? I know you've been playing the same game pretty much every time.
It's not been too bad. I mean, you don't exactly have to twist my arm to get me to play StarCraft for 24 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, and if I can help kids that are like worse off than my own in the process, then why the hell not? But as for experiences, there's not really any. It's just a blast, man. I mean, I've done both of them pretty much on Skype with Dan the whole time, and we've played with different people from the community and that, and we've played different games when I wasn't playing StarCraft. But this year I've decided that I'm actually going to do 24 hours straight of StarCraft. So at least I don't have to make up excuses this time.
Or play Snuggle Truck.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that, man. That's just a stupid idea. But my experience is just that it's just fun to do, and it's for a good cause.
Yeah.
So why not do it?
I always find when it gets around to that bit at 8 a.m, I'm never as tired as I expect to be.
No, I will say that as well. And there was one time where I just kept playing StarCraft after the 24 hours.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was the year I nearly burnt the house down.
I think we're going to try to run a consistent 24-hour Skype call. So, if anybody wants to come on and try to help keep us awake, they'll be more than welcome to, believe me.
That will be handy.
Yeah, I know.
That's good.
So, Gary, any plans what you'll be playing on the marathon this weekend or what?
Yeah, well, it's the cool part I'm going to do here is I'm going to get the kids involved so they feel like they're part of it. Of course, I can't be in the house for 24 hours since I'm coaching. I got 2 soccer games that Saturday, and then my older guy has a football game that he's going to be playing.
So you got some alternates.
So they're going to play. I'm going to bring the iPad. They can bring their 3DS down, and we're going to make them play while we're there. So
cool.
We'll get them on there. One of the games, and it's funny, talking about StarCraft, that's one of the games that I'm going to try to get on. I have it. I've played around. I've gotten my ass kicked just playing single player.
By Bobby.
Just because there's so much for me. No, it's not even Bobby. It's the computer. His scraps would kick my ass. So I really want to try to get to learn that game because it looks so much fun.
Yeah.
So
Well, Bobby will be able to
If it would
teach
let
you how
me
to
play
lose.
with
It's,
North American players.
Oh,
then,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'd be more than happy to teach you my ways.
Still a weird decision.
Heart of the Swarm is going to be possible in the next expansion. So, but the beta is looking terrible at the moment.
Oh well.
Can't play it, man.
Well, cool. Excellent. Well, thanks for sitting down and answering a few questions. Hopefully now, if you listen to this and you hear, these are guys that are selflessly giving up 24 hours of their life to help sick kids. So maybe that'll kind of soften your heart, and you can click the donate button. Alright, so Bobby, anything game wise taking up your time lately or what?
Should I give you 3 guesses?
Really?
Well, as I was just alluding to at the end of that last section, the Heart of the Swarm beta, which I'm guessing quite a few people probably haven't played yet because it's obviously a closed beta at the moment. So I've been playing that. That's kind of new. I guess that's justifiably talked about.
Well, I mean, what's the difference that you're saying it's not looking too great at the moment?
Well, they've obviously added in new units to the multiplayer. Obviously, the beta is only the multiplayer, and they've added a bunch of new units for each race, and they've taken 1 or 2 out already because they were just terribly unbalanced, and it just ruined the game. But it's a beta for a game, and I mean they're still up until the last patch making and balance adjustments on Wings of Liberty. So the fact that Heart of the Swarm is not balanced properly at the moment is really not surprising at all. The beta for Wings of Liberty was just as bad, but I just can't play it at the moment. It just seems like there's just little things about the imbalances that just annoy me, and I keep blaming them for losing, even though it's probably not entirely their fault. And I feel like it's making me worse at Wings of Liberty at the moment as well. So I'm kind of trying to trade off on the two. But there's some great ideas in the new units, and there's some terrible ideas in the new units. And hopefully by the time the beta's done with, it'll be just as great as Wings of Liberty, and I'll be playing it every day in 2 years' time.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt.
I'm pretty certain.
So you've been tinkering with anything else, or?
Not really, man. I want to play XCOM, but I've heard things about the keyboard and mouse setup that's kind of making me think maybe I should leave my memories intact. I don't know.
It's made for a controller, man.
Yeah, see, that's what I've heard, man. And
but I kind of liked it.
I've heard it's great, and it works on the controller, and I've got an Xbox controller here. I'm sure it'd work just fine, but it's XCOM.
I know. But you know what? To that, I say, and to everybody listening, if you happen to be someone who would be in the position to get me this, stocking full of Steam gift cards. Please. I want all these games. I just can't afford them at full price anymore. So
that's going to be the universal currency soon.
I know.
Don't worry. The dollar's crashing, and everyone's just going to use their Steam wallets to pay for shit.
I would never pay full price for a game anymore, just because those sales are amazing.
I know. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Actually, twice a year, I guess.
Yeah.
And weekly if there happens to be a game that's on sale.
Yeah, they actually have a nice MIDI one around Halloween too, don't they?
Yeah. Every now and then there's a fire sale of something. So that's kind of cool.
So Dan, I happened to see on Twitter, Dan was playing the F1 2012 demo.
Yeah, I was.
And?
It's something that's not Guild Wars 2.
Is that the only thing that you've been playing that's not Guild Wars 2?
Yeah, but I have been getting really excited about something that's coming out in 2 years' time.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, Star Citizen. Have you seen the videos for that? Oh, it looks fantastic.
Actually, no.
Oh, I cannot wait. I'm not going to say too much about it because I want people to have a look at it. Just Google Star Citizen, watch it, enjoy. Get a PC to play it.
Watch that video.
I would say spell that first.
Star Citizen.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
You sounded like me when I say Resident Evil. Because I think everybody does that. Like I've heard Star Citizen.
Yeah, it looks absolutely fantastic. It's going to make, well, for me, it's the whole reason to have a PC. It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
It's going to be brilliant. But yeah, playing.
People said that about Battlefield 3 a while back.
Well, yeah, they did. But, this is kind of a dead genre almost, isn't it? The kind of star RPG trading, shooting stuff in ships rather than just first person shooter. It's going to be great. But yeah, I've been playing the F1 2012 demo on Steam, and yeah, it's looking really good.
So what's new?
Handling's been tweaked a bit.
Okay.
It looks a bit nicer.
Sponsors are up to date.
Teams are up to date. Tracks are up to date.
It's more than just a yearly sports franchise, more or no?
Yeah, there's a new thing to it which I don't actually like. You start off as a rookie and you've got to go through like the rookie proving grounds, and while that's great for new players, you can't skip it if you're used to the games and like a decent driver. You've got to go through all of it, like how to take corners properly, how to accelerate, how to use DRS and KERS, which is a little bit annoying if you kind of know everything already and you just want to get out and race. You've got to do this rookie bit beforehand, and there's no skipping it whatsoever.
I hope I'm wrong, but it sounds like they've taken a bit of the career mode from like things like Dirt and stuff and put it in there.
It's
the whole starting off as an unknown and all that kind of.
Yeah, well, they kind of have that.
It doesn't have an annoying guide saying your name. You don't have to choose a name.
Well,
you type your name in.
Okay, I was gonna say does it say, "Hey, rookie"? Like it doesn't say that, does it?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
The previous games you started
right.
off as a rookie driver and had to work your way up and get contracts from other companies to race for them.
Okay.
So it's very similar. It's just more tweaks. Looks much nicer than it did. Does still feel perhaps a little bit easy if you're used to the system, used to the games. Of course, if you're Excalibur, it's going to be impossible. So don't pick it up. And it is very kind of sim-like rather than arcadey. It's definitely for the kind of more hardcore enthusiasts.
So Gate will love it.
Yeah, they'll be all over it. In fact, I'm sure they've already started their new season, which I won't be joining because I refuse to buy any more Microsoft Gold
I know.
accounts. And I was tempted the other day to take my Xbox into game with all my games.
For what?
That's the sign of true enlightenment.
Yeah.
Because I need a new CPU.
Oh man! I mean, what would they have given you for it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, all my discs. There's about 3 foot worth of boxes out there with all the discs in, and there's a few special editions. But I'm going to keep them. So.
I was going to say you'd be better off eBaying them. Probably you'd get more money.
Well, yeah, I probably got a couple of £100 worth sitting here. Yeah. Maybe a bit more.
Is that enough to buy you a CPU?
Well, I've got a new CPU and motherboard sitting up there, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds a little more like it.
Yeah.
The worst. I'm in a situation where I've got an actual new CPU here, but I can't use it because I haven't had the cash to buy a motherboard that it fits in yet, which sucks.
Oh man.
I've been itching to build a new one, but I already know better. I can't.
Oh,
those days are over, man.
Is that I'm never going to be able to afford.
Yeah, and you're right. They are over.
Trust me.
At least for now, like until tax return time or something. Maybe I don't know. Like that's
pension.
Yeah, that'll probably be about it.
More like until about 18 years time, man.
If I'm still running this Core 2 quad in 18 years, come on, man. Oh God, I'll kill myself.
Jeez.
All right.
Anything else, Dan?
Oh, well, there was some exciting new Guild Wars 2 news that actually arrived on my desktop just before we started recording. And that's the Halloween content.
Wait a minute. Should we get a bumper or something for like the weekly Guild Wars 2 update? I mean, is there...
yeah, maybe. But yeah, there's some cool new Halloween stuff coming out. That's looking good. But more actually importantly, Amorous89, Gary and I have been talking about getting the guild actually active, and we're planning some new stuff. So keep your eyes posted on the site and the Twitter feed. And
I got to get to 30.
Yeah, you've got to get to 30.
I'm right there.
So you can do it.
I'm right there. I'm like 28 or something like that. So it shouldn't take too long to get up there.
You can do that in like 10 minutes with crafting.
If you're Dan.
While you're talking about Guild Wars, are they have any plans on doing any kind of demos or anything? Because I would love to check it out, but I don't want to spend that money and then find out I never will play it.
Well,
I I don't know. I mean,
They did that with the original.
I don't know if they do it quite so soon.
Yeah.
But maybe closer towards Christmas or in the new year, perhaps. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, Gary, it is a time sink.
Right.
You know?
Which that's not something I usually have.
Yeah.
But it is fantastic.
Yeah. It is a well-crafted game.
And I don't like MMOs.
Yeah. I think that's why you like it. That's what they said. If you don't like them, you're going to like it. If you like them, you're going to like it. But yeah, I saw the Mad King is going to be back. The Mad King was a Halloween fixture in the original Guild Wars.
And they've got some other things going on, like the costume brawling.
Yeah, Jeremy. Oh, Zerum's going to be all over that. Oh, God, he'll love that. Man. All right, Dan. Well, we got an email. You want to go ahead and take care of that?
Yeah, sure. It's actually from good buddy Filthy over at Virtual Pizza.
Yeah.
He says, "Hi guys, I just wanted to drop you a quick line, not just to say congratulations on your fantastic news, but also to say that I found the end of the last episode of The Gamesmen very moving. The show itself was fantastic. Loved the interviews with Robin and Greg. I met Robin at Eurogamer, and he is as genuine a person as he sounds. And Greg, well, he's just Greg."
Yeah, that's a mouthful. Yeah. It's an understatement of the year.
Yeah. He goes on to say, "Trying not to sound too mushy, but the news that you're calling it a day on the Gamesmen is completely understandable. And I find your pre-commitment to your future family life with Mrs. Congo very admirable."
Yeah, well, yeah, it's, I don't know. It was something that her and I always talked about, like, because she's annoyed with this whole thing, no doubt, you know, like every Friday, every Tuesday, you know, it changes days all the time, the way we used to do it and everything. And yeah, I mean, that's the one thing I told her, you know, we go to December to 99 and then Game of the Year episode 100, bang, you know, go out on a high note. Yeah.
We can do that now.
Yep.
Guild Wars 2.
Get out of here.
Okay, I found it near impossible to regularly record my show due to life, major family and work dramas getting in the way, so I'm fully aware of the commitment required to produce a show. Better to accept that. Refocus now than later. And yeah, I mean, hell, if I was in your position, I'd stop.
Yeah. I mean, that's not to say that I might...
Look how often Iron Hammers comes out.
Exactly.
That's not to say that I may not just pop on, you know, shows here and there, but...
you know, you're welcome on mine whenever.
Oh, I know. I mean...
When I do it.
Here, just go on and record yourself and put something up on my feed.
If we ever do a lousy podcast again, you can come on that.
Yep. Cool.
Okay, well, he finishes by saying, "This email has come out a lot worse in structure and sentiment than I originally worked out of my head, so apologies for that, but I hope you get the general gist of where I'm coming from. Take care, Filthy. P.S. You're always welcome on Virtual Pizza if you get the time in the future."
God, if I,
Look at that.
if I go on all these sort of guest appearances, it'll be like I never quit anyway.
I was going to say that, you're going to have more.
Yeah.
No editing, though.
Yeah, thank God. You know, that is the longest part, man. Holy crap. Of course, it's long because I make it long, too. But anyway, all right, some shout-outs. Gary, how about you, buddy?
Yeah, just a big shout out to all those people that have donated to my cause. A lot of the people, believe it or not, actually are not people that I game with. Gamer Girl was one of them, and I know she went around and she threw up money to all of us, or a lot of us anyway, which is really cool. So thanks to them. Most of them probably won't hear this, but I'll try to get a couple of people at work to pick it up. Yeah. And DeLacy, I'm going to get you. We having a little competition here, and I was slaughtering them. And just before the show, I think it was you, Steve, that mentioned he kind of jumped out of nowhere. And sure as shit, he's kicking my ass now, so I really got to get going.
Time for you to leapfrog him back, that's all.
Yeah, I'm going to be busting people's chops at work all week long.
Bobby.
Well, I'll start with the obligatory donors thank you. It's very much appreciated. There's only 2 of you at the moment. Make that more. Feel sorry for me when you listen to this episode of The Gamesmen and come and donate. And then obviously go check out Iron Hammers as well, ironhammers.org. I can't not give that shout out. And finally, I want to mention ESFI World, which is Esports Fans International, ESFIworld.com. I've just started writing a bit for them about StarCraft esports.
Oh, cool.
And it's been quite fun so far. Some cool stuff going on over there. So if you're a fan of, they cover all esports. So if you like League of Legends or Dota or anything like that, then go check it out.
Okay, cool.
They're all independent news stuff. It's good.
All right, I will. If you give me a link, I'll put it up on the show notes.
Cool stuff, man. Nice one.
Awesome. Daniel.
Yeah, I've got 3 this week. Fodder, one of the listeners from back in the old Iron Hammers days. He's donated to me, as has Susan Linden Hall and DJ Leroy 89, Sutton 85 even. Idiot. So yeah, cheers. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. Steve.
Yeah, for me, Brandon 4, our buddy Einsa Masil, made a donation to me today, so thank you very much. Not to me, but to Sick Kids in my name. Also, Nick Ald, who Gary informed me that, because I was not aware, was Womble MK3 for joining the VGHub team, so thank you and welcome.
Yes.
Excellent. Awesome. I think we're up to, 14 team members now, I think? Something like that?
Yeah, and a few thousand... dollars raised, $2,716 raised so far. Rocking. So I think we did 3610 last year, I think. And cool. I don't think I'm going to come close to mine with everything that I've had going on. I haven't really had time to go out, but I'm going to try to make a push this week. Try to get a couple extra bucks in the coffers. And also VGHub.net, which one of the members of VGHub is Lousy at Gaming. So go over to VGHub.net. It is a great wealth of gaming resources, fun forums, sites with little opinion pieces and things like that. So go over and check out VGHub.net and also lousyatgaming.com. Correct, Gary?
That is correct.
Yes. Excellent. All right. So web for the week to come, Gary. Your PSN ID, your Steam, your gamertag, Twitter, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm the real default everywhere. Steam, Facebook. Well, not Facebook actually, but my Steam, my Xbox, my whatever, everything. Twitter, you name it, it's going to be the real default.
You're the kind of guy we like around here. The guy who doesn't complicate things.
Yeah.
Mr. Gooding.
I am pretty much the same with Iron Hammers everywhere except for Facebook.com/IronHammer5 because somebody stole my S.
Bastards.
That was you, wasn't it?
I still haven't got it yet. One day, I think I did steal it myself. Actually, yeah. Well, we don't tell people that, though. But someone did steal my S on Iron Hammers for Twitter, but I managed to file like some crazy copyright thing and get it back. So that was
He like tweeted once, didn't he, in 3 years?
Yeah, he had tweeted once and hadn't never been followed and hadn't ever followed. It's like he'd never loved before.
I completely remember the whole overblown campaign for you.
It worked, man. It worked. I've got Iron Hammers on Twitter. Facebook aren't so lenient.
Oh my god.
Who wants Facebook anyway, man?
Oh, Snuggle Truck.
That is not my name.
That's gonna stick.
Oh crap! Yeah, I'm Hardly Dan pretty much everywhere, but you'll probably most likely find me in Guild Wars 2, where I'm Hardly Dan .4219.
Yes,
that's about it. Steve.
Oh, for me, I am JSSLIFELIKE pretty much everywhere. That's Steam, that's Skype, that's Twitter, that's PSN, that's Xbox Live. Yeah, I mean, you'd think as many hours as I'm putting on it, I should probably have my 16-digit Wii code or some shit on here. Not that it would matter. But yeah.
You know it off by heart yet?
No, I used to, and now I don't. And I used to know my 3DS one, and now I can't remember it either. But I don't know. Numbers. I hate numbers. But yeah, that's it. If you can't find JSS Lifelike, then basically I'm not there. So, all right, Dan, the part of the show that you wish was pre-recorded, sir.
Yep. We had that weird trend of 27 the other week. Yeah, well, this week we've got a weird trend of people having strange middle names. It starts off with our new Facebook likes. If you want to check us out on Facebook, we've got a page there. Give us a like, we'll read your name out. Just like Dan Plane Jumping Emery did, Ryan the Daddy Truman, and Danielle Samuel's Mummy Thorpe. Wow. Also, Lisa Conger, Dusty Kimberling, and Jason Powell, who I believe is Stepjay.
Yes, so thank you all very much, very much.
And if you hadn't guessed, we're doing Extra Life this year. Go sponsor one of us. The link is extra-life.org/team/VGHub Team 2012.
What's extra?
It's some charity thing some people are doing.
You might have heard about it.
I remember now.
We'd like some more voicemails. We're running out of shows, and we'd quite like to not have to do any work for any of them. So if you could give us a call, that'd be fantastic. The phone number is 412-267-RPG1. Or you can email us to thegamesmenrpg@gmail.com. If that's too much like hard work, you can always tweet us. Our Twitter account is at the Gamesmen RPG, and we've got some new followers. PG Tips 27? No, PG Tips 77.
Just automatically reading it. 27.
Yeah. It's all I see, 27 everywhere. It's some code. Yeah, so we've got at PG Tips 77, Catacomb_EJ, Chuck4489, and Yoda the Third, which is with a 3 instead of THI. You can also listen to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to have a look at that. Give us a like. We haven't got any this week. Our address for that is youtube.com/thegamesmanrpg. And not that it seems like we ever get any anymore, but we could do it on iTunes review. So, give us some stars. Let us know what you think. We might, change the last few shows.
Yeah,
Probably
there you go.
not, but never know.
Yep. 10 more and a game of the year to go, folks. And so, Gary, I hope you had a good time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was great.
Try to tear you away from your kids for a little bit. And
I love listening to the show afterwards to see if I can hear them in the background.
And Bobby, nice to hear you in some sort of digital format again.
I'll be back.
All right, folks. Well, that is going to do it for episode 89. So on behalf of The Real Defoe, on behalf of Iron Hammers, on behalf of Hardly Daniel, I am Lifelike. We are the Gamesmen. And until next time, we ask...
What role will you play? These guys are like addicted to Minecraft. It's hysterical.
On the 360, or I take it?
Yeah, well, when they started on the 360, and I showed them the PC version, where I guess you can get basically, the complete unlocks and have TNT and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Showed
So
them
they
the
used to
PC
make
game in Master Race version.
They used to make these, they'd make gigantic piles of TNT, blow it up, see things fly all over.
You have to install some of the mods for them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess I probably could look for that, right?
Yeah, there's some of them are fantastic. You can make nuclear bombs and...
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's not what we should be ingraining into our children, Dan.
Yeah, I know, but it's only Minecraft.
I know.
Yeah, that's what they all say at the start. Yeah, it's only Minecraft.
Yeah, all of a sudden, after 450...
It's only depleted uranium.
After 450 hours of Minecraft, they're complete nihilists.
The show itself was fantastic. I loved the interviews with Robin and Greg. I met Robin at Eurogamer, and he's a genuine... The show itself was fantastic. I loved the interviews with Robin and Greg. I met Robin at Eurogamer, and he is a genuine person. Oh, fuck's sake.
All right, folks. Well, that is going to do it for episode 89. So on behalf of The Real Defoe, on behalf of Iron Hammers, on behalf of Hardly Daniel, I am Lifelike. We are the Gamesmen. And until next time, we ask...
Hardly Daniel?
Yeah, Hardly Daniel. Yep. That's your new name.
Hardly Daniel / Snuggletruck.
Snuggly Dan.
Hardly snuggled.
Oh, my God.
Not fully satisfied with this podcast, please return any portions for a full refund.
What role will you...
Put that in over the top.
That's totally going in at the end.
Sorry, I choked.
That is totally going in at the end. What role...